Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Unitarian Society of Germantown's live stream worship service. We are glad you are here to help us welcome new members who will be joining our congregation today. I am Margaret Thompson, the worship associate. In addition to welcoming new members, we will be blessed with a sermon by Latifa Griffin-Rogers. A great deal of technical work goes on behind the scenes of our services. Please see the chat for information about the people who give us wonderful music and keep the service moving along smoothly. We are making an effort to limit the length of our verbal announcements. I invite you to check out USG's publications about all that we offer, in particular, our website and newsletters. I also hope you enjoyed our in-gathering music and announcements slideshow, which starts every Sunday morning at 9:50. Here are some highlights. Please check the chat for links and email addresses. If you or someone you know is in need, please reach out to our caring team. Today, our early elementary explorers are exploring at 1 p.m. Middle schoolers are invited to a gaming evening on Jackbox tonight at 7. And at 2 p.m., everyone is invited to attend the Ending Racism Committee's virtual tour of historic African-American sites in Philadelphia as we anticipate the celebration of Juneteenth later this month. And now, our Reverend Kent has an update about coming changes for our community as we look forward to in-person gatherings.
Society Germantown family, what a joyous Sunday morning worship service we have laid out before us. Excuse me. I have a special set of announcements, which you may have seen in an email that came out yesterday. We have a hardworking, moving ahead steering committee that's working with different parts of the church, and we're very pleased to announce that we will begin offering in-person worship services in the second half of August. We will offer these in a multi-platform format, and we're still gonna be zooming out to folks who can't come or aren't able to come, don't feel comfortable coming yet, or for whatever purpose. And we're going to be doing this in a spirit of flexibility and inclusion and respectfulness, knowing that we will make plenty of mistakes out of the gate, and it'll be another opportunity in our spiritual lives to offer each other grace. More information will be coming. I believe that those indoor services will require everyone to wear masks inside the building. But I also want to call your attention to the fact that we have new, wider, more open guidelines for outdoor space. You can read about it. But USG groups of any kind can reserve the space, and you can make a USG activity if you want to do this, can meet outside in the Grove. Folks 12 and over are not required to mask outside. We're respectfully asking that folks who are not vaccinating that they mask, but that's on an honor system. And we were blessed in the city here with 6 acres of land, so we can enjoy that experience together. And many of us have been doing that with our small group ministries and other activities, seeing each other's eyes and hearing each other's voices without being mediated by a computer or a machine is such a blessing. So please look for more. And if you're interested in helping us with any of this, there will be a lot of people power needed to move us along to do this as well as we can. More information to come about how you can plug in and assist. And without further ado, let us now turn our attention to the here and now and the life of the Spirit.
This morning's words are from John Murray. He was an early Universalist minister in America. Give the people something of your new vision. You may possess a small light, but uncover it. Let it shine. Use it to bring more light and understanding to the hearts and minds of men and women. Give them not hell, but hope and courage.
Thank you, Chris and Mark, for that gorgeous music. Today, we stand on the shoulders of those who go before us. For 107 years, people have freely decided to join as members of the Unitarian Society of Germantown. In this free church tradition, those folks have decided to put their love, courage, and hope in with the love, courage, and hope of the community. And we have a beautiful heritage which we draw upon every day. Today, folks are joining our church to become a part of that heritage. And we are part of a wider heritage going back. You can count it a lot of different ways, but at least 370 years in what is called the United States of America now, where in the Cambridge Platform, 372 years ago, congregations decided to affirm how they would do church together. They wouldn't receive directives unconditionally from church hierarchy, but each church and actually each person could build their own theology, reflecting upon scripture and listening to their souls. And through different shapes and forms, that tradition has changed throughout the years, but the core principles have remained the same. And not only is it a freedom of individual belief and freedom of churches to decide how they build their missions and live out their missions and care for each other and do justice, but also how they hold each other accountable for living out principles and purposes. So today we're so delighted that folks are joining our church in this worship service. It means so much to us. We are very cognizant of the fact that most of you have been really interacting with us through these unique times of COVID, where most of our interaction has been virtual. And we honor that and appreciate it ever more, and feeling you a part of the community, and look forward to moving into the next phases of our life together as well. We hope that you feel not only called to be of service to the church, but let us know when you need service, when you need help, when you need caring. Please be in communication with us about things that matter to you so we can support you. You are joining the church in these unique times. You bring special blessings to the church in the joining, and may the joining bring you unique and special blessings in your own lives. I now turn it over to the president of our Board of Trustees, Andrea Barcevic.
I'm Andrea Barcevic, president of the USG Board of Trustees. I welcome the new members into our beloved community. May this be a place that nurtures your souls and enables you to work in our community towards social justice.
Hello, good morning. I'm Lisa Dutton, chair of the welcoming team, and I am delighted and honored to welcome the following people into membership. We are pleased that even during a pandemic, people have found a spiritual home with us and have pursued membership. In addition, thanks to all of you who have engaged them in conversation, shared your stories with them, and helped answer their questions. You have had a key role in making their USG community experience, and these experiences help them decide to make USG their church home. 6 of the 7 people joining had never been in USG. It was heartwarming to see their expressions as they toured the grounds and entered the sanctuary. Welcoming them to this community has been inspiring and a pleasure. Now, I will tell you a little about each person. First, we have Caitlin Bushinsky. Caitlin is a nature-loving, wild-at-heart adventurer who has hiked most of the entire Appalachian Trail. She is also a newly minted mama to her much adored baby girl, Juniper Bliss. When she's not wandering the woods somewhere with her baby on her back, she's probably working in her capacity as a licensed clinical social worker and psychotherapist. Her sense of spirituality is grounded in her love and respect for the earth, and she deeply believes the natural world is full of magic and wonder. Welcome, Katie. Next, we have Thomas Conkright. Tom grew up and went to college in Maryland. He moved to Philadelphia with his spouse, Katie, in 2013. He is a new father to 8-month-old Juniper, currently working as a software developer and formerly as a brewer. He enjoys hiking and camping with his family, woodworking, and video games. He is excited to join USG and the UU community with his family. Welcome, Tom. And Juniper, isn't she adorable? Next, we have Margaret Burge Caracappa, also known as Maggie. Maggie is the loving wife of Amy Burge Caracappa and cat mom to 4 weird and wonderful felines. She is a giant geek and is happy to share her love of Star Trek, among other things, at any time. She believes in love and friendship, good food and wine, and good stories, as well as celebrating the spark of the divine that lives in all of us. She is thrilled to become a full member of this joyful and caring community. Welcome, Maggie. Next, we have Eileen Devlin. Eileen was born in New York City, raised in New Jersey, lived in Vermont and Connecticut, and finally moved to East Falls last December. Eileen and Michael Moran have been married for 41 years and have 2 daughters, 3 grandchildren, and 1 on the way. Eileen was raised Catholic, but has been a Congregationalist for 40 years. She plans to retire this year. She was very involved in her former church and misses the friendships formed over 30 years. After a couple of months of virtual worship, she feels she has found her new church family here. She is looking forward to getting to know everyone at USG, and we are looking forward to getting to know her. Welcome, Eileen. Next, we have Michael Moran. Michael is Eileen's husband, as you can tell from the photo. He is from New York City. He attended Rutgers University and New Brunswick Theological Seminary. From 1970 to 1980, he served churches in New York City and Pennsylvania part-time while teaching high school and working as a writer, photographer, and historian. In 1980, he took a full-time pastoral position in Vermont, then moved to a UCC church in Connecticut before retiring in 2018. He has been active with the War Resisters League and the Safe Energy Alliance and enjoys rowing. He is looking forward to engaging with the USG community and discovering ways he can be useful, and we can help him find that. Welcome, Michael. Next, we have Tisha Nesbitt. For Tisha, one of the blessings of 2020 was exploring Unitarian Universalism. The social justice and free thinking community deeply resonates with her values. On January 6, 2021, Tisha attended a USG vigil held following the insurrection. She has been participating in services at USG since then. Tisha lives in the greater Pittsburgh area and has spent the last 20 years as a corporate learning and development professional and diversity and inclusion strategy leader. Tisha loves boxing, HIIT, also known as high intensity interval training workouts, football, reading memoirs, and aspires to become a freelance filmmaker, creating stories for her virtual platform, Awaking Woman. Welcome, Tisha. And our last person joining today is Christine Sani. Christine recently relocated with her wife, Karen Seif, to Flowertown, PA. She and Karen have 2 sons, Marcus and CJ, a dog named Max, and 2 cats named Allie and Jackie. Christine is a communications professional. Her hobbies include quilting, needlework, cooking vegan foods, and enjoying science fiction, especially Star Trek, another Star Trek fan. She has been exploring the Unitarian faith for many years and is happy to have the opportunity to join fellowship at USG. Welcome, Christine. So welcome to all of the new members, and we're so delighted you're joining us today. Reverend Kent, would you now lead us in the membership responsive reading?
Yes. And I just have to say, wow, I am so touched.
I'm excited.
I'm so moved by all the, oh, what a wonderful, very beautiful. Okay. You who have joined the Unitarian Society of Germantown, take an important step in your faith journey. We're glad you are joining. We offer you a warm welcome into the life of our congregation. May you find friends here. May you be of service here. May your spirit grow and thrive here.
Everyone who is part of this service, please join me in the congregational response. Welcome. We promise to help you find your place here. We will listen to you. We will support you, and we will respect your spiritual path. The whole of this church is greater than the sum of its parts. You add much to this congregation. Welcome.
We come freely and without reservation to join this congregation.
We want to add our hopes and dreams to yours.
We promise to support the Unitarian Society of Germantown through our time, talents, and stewardship.
We look to you for guidance, fellowship, and support.
We are glad to join you.
May each and all of us be mindful of the privileges and responsibilities of membership in the Unitarian Society of Germantown. In our free church tradition, only voluntary membership brings a person into our religious community. Like our liberal religious forebears for hundreds of years, these new members have added their signatures to our membership book. They take their place in a long line of free thinkers and justice seekers. Our heritage is richer for their joining.
Today and each day, we commit ourselves to the work of Unitarian Universalism in our lives, our families, our church, and our world. Grateful for so many who have gone before us, we pledge ourselves to their legacy and this church, where we are building beloved community with compassion, service, and empowerment. Oh, everyone, you may now unmute yourself to cheer and congratulate our new members.
Yay!
Welcome.
Great job, Lisa.
Terrible group of people in this pandemic.
Gee, who was that?
Good morning. Well, that was so heartwarming. So I'm Ryan Hurd. I'm the Director of Spiritual Development here at USG. And now it's time for concerns for the community and the world. This will be followed by a time of prayer, meditation, and then you'll be invited to join us in singing the hymn, Spirit of Life. We are relieved that in Philadelphia County and in surrounding areas that the COVID-19 caseload continues to drop. at levels not seen since the beginning of the pandemic. Yet, let us also take a moment to lift up the struggles of the many peoples around the world as they endure third and even fourth waves of COVID-19. Too many to list, but Brazil, Nepal, India, Japan, many countries in Africa are suffering right now with availability issues when it comes to promised vaccines and medical resources. With this difficult time in the United States has come increased violence in our cities and our streets over the last years. And let us pause to acknowledge and reflect that gun violence in our country is at all-time high at levels not seen in quite some time. In Philadelphia, gun violence is up 33% this year compared with last year. We celebrate that June is Pride Month, a time to honor the lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, queer, non-binary folks and communities that make up the tremendous part of our own congregation here at USG. As we have seen, our laws and rights are not guarantees. We must continue to center the importance of pride and education about the history of the gay rights movement in our country and in our city, and continue to speak it here in this congregation. Finally, there is a very cool partial solar eclipse this coming Thursday morning visible in the Philadelphia region. This is a partial solar eclipse that occurs as the moon passes in front of the sun. This year, the moon won't cover the sun completely. It'll cause a bright ring around the moon silhouette called a ring of fire. So if you're a morning person, if you're up at 5:30 on June 10th, look skyward and east towards the rising sun for a wonder, a natural wonder. Now I'll share a prayer for a time of meditation. Let us quiet our minds and open our hearts to receive these words. Spirit of life, creator of all things, living earth that holds us, ancestors named and unnamed, mystery, truth and love that connects us all, we thank you. We marvel in the awe of your expansiveness. Your margins of diversity are boundless. Each person in the world is beautifully and wonderfully made. Teach us to love and accept people just as they are and embrace their identity fully as you have embraced us. Please hear our prayers. Blessed be and amen.
Good morning, everyone. I am Latifah Griffin Rogers, your intern minister. So let us settle in for a moment of contemplation before we hear the word. Thank you. Universalists, Unitarian Universalists, are often asked where they stand. The only true answer to give to this question is that we do not stand at all. We move. That's a quote from Louis Bill. Today we are 6 days into Pride Month. Today we are increasing our congregation. And today we're also going to hear some beautiful reflections from a few folks about what USG membership means to them. I hope y'all are all feeling the love this morning, because I certainly am. This is a beautiful morning. So I'll tell you a little bit about me and my journey to Unitarian Universalism and to USG. Some of you may not know, especially the new folks, but 3 short years ago, I was a Baptist in the Baptist denomination on track for ordination. But something within me felt like I would never authentically be accepted, right? I'm a female, I'm a lesbian, I'm Black, the list goes on, right? And on top of that, I felt that our work in that denomination was limited to the congregations. And to me, ministry is much more than that. We can entertain ourselves or we can go out and make a difference, right? Just to clarify, I personally didn't feel that our ministry in the Baptist tradition moved beyond our church walls. Now, I could have gone to another Baptist church, but in my heart, I knew I needed to be somewhere else. I took a step away to explore what's important to me in ministry, what's important to me personally, how can I make an impact, where's the best use of my spiritual gifts. I began researching denominations and visiting places and talking to people about their experiences. And it wasn't until I had this 360 moment that happened in 2019. I went to Annapolis to visit the UU Annapolis Church to inquire about an internship, knowing that I had to complete one in the following year. They told me they already had an intern committed for the next year. But during the meeting, Reverend Cresswell said to me, he said, you know, there's a guy, Reverend Kent Matthias, who is my good friend. He's at USG, and it's a teaching congregation. So you should reach out. So we finished our conversation, and I thought, okay, I'll check back later. Well, later in 2019, while doing pulpit supply for the Unitarian Universalist Church of Delaware County, I had a meeting with the Reverend Peter Friedrichs. And if you remember, just a few short months ago, we had a couple of joint services with UUCDC. And so they too are a teaching congregation, and we're looking for an intern for 2020. So I said, so I met with Peter Friedrichs, and he said, you know, if UUCDC is too close to home, that church is in Media, I'm from Chester. I have a good friend, the Reverend Kent Matthias at Unitarian Society of Germantown. They are a teaching congregation as well. I'll give you his information, and you enter into discernment about it and let me know what you decide. And after this, I'm like, all right, who's this Kent guy, and why does it feel like I'm being pushed his way, right? I'm going to feel like I'm coming out of left field for him, but for me, literally everyone I encountered mentioned Reverend Kent's name. I eventually went to my home congregation to meet with the Reverend Pam Watt to talk about goals and sponsorship and other stuff. And we talked about being minorities and women in the Unitarian Universalist denomination, and we bonded over that. I eventually gathered up enough courage to ask her about Reverend Kent as a person. And Reverend Pam had just returned back to the area from leading a congregation in Texas. So she's from Delaware. She was in Texas for a long time. And she spoke about Reverend Kent like they were long time buddies. And I thought, okay, you know, I better just call this guy and see if I could get a meeting with him. So fast forward 2 years, I'd say it's divine that I am now working alongside Reverend Kent here at USG. And I share my personal journey with you all this morning because even though I'm a minister, I still need community. And every person I interacted with embraced me, and connected me to someone who could help me in my journey, in my ministerial journey. I am still a person that needs to be held accountable. I still need guidance from my colleagues. I still need to network. I found all of these things in the UU tradition. I went looking for a place 2 hours from my home in Maryland to find where I belong, only to realize I just needed to get on Lincoln Drive and pay attention to find my place. This community has literally been a godsend for me and my family. And being a part of this community, you new folks will be loved on. You will be challenged in your perspective. You will be embraced in this community. And occasionally you will be forced to face parts of yourself that you might not otherwise have tapped into, all in the name of deepening your spirituality. Being a part of Unitarian Universalism has helped me deepen my spirituality and my understanding of the need for community. And more importantly, I love the fact that this denomination is so inclusive. This is Pride Month. And if you have friends or family that do not have a church home but want to be a part of an inclusive community, tell them the UU is for you, okay? USG is for them. Tell them about us. I feel like everyone can be themselves here, whether you're a believer or not. That doesn't matter. It's all about how we live in community. Being a part of Unitarian Universalism has ignited a fire within me for public witnessing and social justice. Like Louis Bill said, Unitarian Universalists move. USG congregants move. We are not stagnant at all. You will find a place. And if you are motivated to continue to advance society by living out our principles, this is the place for you. But I don't need to convince you. Let's hear from USG's own members, okay? Now let's settle in as we hear 3 testimonials about what USG membership means to them.
My name is Javier Ramos, and I've been a member at USG since 2016. USG has become a constant in my life ever since I started going. It's been there through lots of changes in my life, and it's where I continue to go back. A place of community, it's my place of faith. It's a place where I get to be with others who are willing to do the work that this world needs to be a better place. USG isn't just important to me, it's also an important part of my family life, and yeah, it's definitely a good place to be, and I'm so glad that I found it.
The Tatey family, and we're here to tell you about our experience with USG so far. My name's Eileen, and so far I have found a very caring community and a wonderful place to raise our children, and getting to meet people from many walks of life has been a great experience as well. Chloe?
It's been a lot of nice accepting people, a lot of snacks at coffee hour, and connecting over Minecraft, a video game.
How about you, Javessa?
And I like eating snacks during the thing because it's yummy, and I also get to play Minecraft. That's your turn.
Okay, Paul?
So far, it's been absolutely outstanding. As Eileen said earlier, a caring community. When we had COVID, it was really humbling to see the amount of people that cooked meals for us and sent us well wishes. And I love the stimulating conversations that we have during a fellowship hour.
All right, that's all from the Tatey family. Thank you.
Bye!
Being a member of USG lets you have this collective community space of people who might not all have the same ideas as you, but come in with this open-mindedness and ability and want to learn and grow in both the spiritual and in the regular outside of church lives through the programming USG has to offer and the community partners and outside events that USG partners with, be it the vigils or the church sermons through the people that come and speak to the community. But being a member opens you up to this wider array of opportunities to hear new perspectives and learn new things from people that you might not otherwise have known where to start looking. In a community of individuals that want and need this spiritual and just outside of church growth.
This beloved community is a source of acceptance, support, and hope to all of our members and friends. Please be generous as you can as we gratefully receive the offering for the ongoing work of our community. You can text your donation of
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and sons of great nations, we're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are mothers of life and the builders of nations, we're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are the dawn, remnants of righteousness, we are our grandmother's dreams. For we are our records, our ancestors, we are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings
These closing words come from Reverend Joseph Cleveland. May we hear the melody of life and find ourselves singing harmony. May we be open to the dissonances in the song of the land and its people, that we might be part of the world's urging towards justice, peace, and love. May we feel in our bones the rhythms of life and the land.
We'll build a love where we bind up the
We give thanks for the music and testimonials of the day. We give thanks for those joining the church, bringing so much beauty, creativity, and strength to our congregation. We give thanks for the shining leadership ministry, Latifa Griffin Rogers. Thank you. It's so wonderful you've been with us for this year, and we're thrilled you're coming back for next year to continue growing and shining as a beacon of love, courage, and hope in your ministry with us. It's an honor. We also give thanks for the 1-year anniversary of the Black Lives Matter Vigil out on Lincoln Drive, Monday through Friday, since the murder of George Floyd. We've been out there, and this week we had a wonderful celebration with folks from a number of different congregations, and State Representative Chris Rabb was here. Thanks to everyone who made that happen, and may it be a beginning. We're continuing that public witness racial justice vigil Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock. So come on out or tell your friends. Every day we begin anew in living out our mission for spirituality and justice.
Thank you all for joining us this morning and for helping us welcome our new members. Also, many thanks to all of those on screen and behind the scenes who made this service so special. We invite you to linger for virtual fellowship time in a Zoom breakout room. It is a wonderful opportunity to share conversation in a small group. To connect to a breakout room, accept the invitation that will appear shortly on your screen. Blessings to you in the coming week. Now, please pass the peace with each other via the chat.